as Venezuelans are taking refuge in cryptocurrencies, moving out of their fiat currency, but we're seeing more and more of this. What's your thought on people there who are living in tents, finding refuge in Bitcoin and crypto?
Well, I think that it's a basic human right to property. And what property really means is the ability to store economic energy over time in order to sustain yourself. We know there's 1.7 people or 1.7 billion that are unbanked. And if I really wanted to wreck your life, first I would take away all your money. Then I would take away your banking account. And then I would collapse the currency that you work in so that even if you do make $100, it's only worth 50 next year and 25 the year thereafter. And it buys nothing in 36 to 48 months. So if you look at the plight of Venezuelans, they've got a collapsing currency. Many of them are unbanked. And of course, the property that they could hold in the country isn't holding value. So what I think is that Bitcoin represents hope to billions and billions of people around the world. And the right to property is a basic human right. And if we take away a bank of economic energy from humanity, it's the same as sentencing them to slow starvation. So obviously I'm a big believer that Bitcoin, is critical to spreading human rights around the world. And what you see right now is that in countries where the currency is collapsing, the banking system doesn't work, then people are turning to Bitcoin and they're using their mobile phones to hold a crypto asset in order to protect themselves. Currency is a medium of exchange, and it's the province of governments. And in order to be a currency, you have to be deemed non-taxable upon transfer. And Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin is deemed property by the IRS, and most countries deem it as property, which makes it an asset, not a currency. So I think that the way the world is evolving, we're going to see 5 billion or more people with mobile phones and mobile wallets. And in that wallet is going to be a selection of currencies and a selection of assets. And the strongest currency is the dollar. And the strongest asset is Bitcoin. And in countries like Venezuela, they're going to lose their currency privileges. And their citizens are going to default to the dollar as a medium of exchange. But the only way that you can deploy dollars as a medium of exchange to billions of people across hundreds of countries and tens of thousands of banking systems or application networks is if you have a global settlement network, which is a shared monetary protocol, and that is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the global monetary network that allows everybody on Earth to store their economic energy over long periods of time. And it also allows everyone to synchronize those mobile wallets in Zimbabwe and Venezuela and Nigeria and India and Argentina and the US and China and the like. And so I see an emerging economy with a digital asset called Bitcoin. If you owned a company in Venezuela, and the company sold anything and you got paid in bolivars, mm-hmm. and you decided that, and you knew that the bolivar is going to keep falling at like 20, 30% a year, and you roll the clock back 20 years. If you were unwise, you just keep working and eventually your assets go to zero. And if you were smart, you would convert your cash flows into US dollars and put it in a bank in New York City. Now, when would you exit from the dollars in New York City and trade back into the bolivars in Venezuela?
Right. Unless if that became the leading currency in the world.
Well, what if the United States government said, well, you can do it tax-free? you're still not going to do it.
No, right, exactly.
Right. I mean, and that would be the case for any weakening currency in Argentina. And if you're in Zimbabwe, when are you going to exit your U.S.? If you basically bought, a New York City apartment and companies in New York City, and you're a billionaire in the United States, when are you going to sell all that and reinvest it back in Zimbabwe? You're not ever.
Right.
Right.
So you would just hold
because
this.
the point is, one of the assets is stronger than the other asset. If Bitcoin is capped at 21 million for the next 1,000 years, it's only going to get more valuable, right? You can make more apartments in New York City. You can print more US dollars. You can create more houses on the beach. You can create more artwork, give me something which is scarcer than pure monetary energy on the dominant global digital monetary network.